I'm here in Apalachicola, Florida, where the tagline for this beautiful area is the Forgotten Coast. We're here because we ran across a blog that the mayor here wrote, Mayor Van Johnson, where the headline was, "The government and BP ignore Apalachicola's plea for protection." This wasn't a normal blog. It's not sensational. There's a quote in here that says, "Given our complete dependence on the Apalachicola River and Bay for our commerce, we have to admit to our residents that if the oil hits our shores, then this city, which has existed as a municipality since 1831, will be eliminated." And they're not kidding. You know, they feel here like because the oil hasn't hit, that it's not a priority city. Now, while there certainly is work going on, it's their own protection that they're fighting for. So we came here to talk to folks and see really what that meant.
I believe the mayor, as representative of the city, because the mayor's blog is, like we talked about earlier, is kind of the voice for the city. And we are very frustrated at the non-attention, non-responsiveness of the continued pleas that we have made to BP on this situation. And I think the mayor wants to get the word out so people understand that they're ignoring us. They're just not listening to our concerns, and we have some very legitimate concerns. We've written several letters requesting advance funds to do some protection that we feel is very important to the city. The city is a very unique situation in that we're right at the mouth of the Apalachicola River and Apalachicola Bay, which forms this historic estuary. It's one of the largest in the nation. We've tried to put a plea out to get a response, and they've ignored it. They haven't responded to anything. The letters to the president, the letters to BP representatives, there's just nothing.
No response.
I mean, it's completely ignoring. I mean, if we got any response back saying, yes, we'll take consideration, or any response back saying, we understand, we hear you, but we can't do anything, we'd rather hear that than nothing, just to be completely ignored.
I'm Andy Smith. I'm the executive director of the Apalachicola Riverkeeper. We started 11 years ago. We're one of 192 keepers in the world. Every keeper has a mission of protecting a particular water body. Ours is the Apalachicola River and Apalachicola Bay. It's 900 miles of river that starts in the Chattahoochee River up north of Atlanta in the Blue Ridge Mountains, in the Flint River just below the Atlanta airport, flows 900 miles to Apalachicola Bay, where you can wade out there, pick up a filter feeder and eat it. That's pretty impressive in this day and time to have such a near pristine, sustainable resource that produces jobs for thousands of people. The nutrients that come down the river, they're eaten by everything in the estuary and in the bay, and they go on out into the Gulf for about 200 or 300 miles. And they are deposited over the reefs, the offshore reefs that are way offshore, that feed grouper, snapper, other finfish that are there. It's called the Green River effect. Apalachicola Bay is oyster heaven.
I've been an oysterman in Apalachicola Bay for about 30 years. I moved here 30 years ago when I was in my early 20s, and I'm 55 now. It's hard for me to convey to people the freedom that you experience when you're completely self-employed, and you live in a town that's full of people who are completely self-employed and have been for multi-generations. And the oysters can only come from water, bacteriologically speaking, 10 times more pure than drinking water. And there's a lot of places in Florida that just aren't like that anymore. This is a diagram of the Gulf Coast, Florida Gulf Coast, this being here Apalachicola, Florida, and this is the Florida Peninsula. And what I'm talking about is not river currents, but ocean currents. And the main ocean current comes along the west coast of Florida into Apalachie Bay, and then meets a current here on Cape San Blas, and it turns south. And the current from the BP oil gusher comes west to east and also meets at Cape San Blas and turns south. So my one ray of hope is that this current here will keep all the oil to the west of Apalachicola, which is probably a false hope, but it is something to grab onto anyway. How can they base a claim on the past? They're taking away my future, and my kids' future, and my grandkids' future. And that's a fight I know I'm going to have to fight. I just haven't, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to.
that I'm leaving this area because, well, there's been a reduction in business and because of the oil spill, and it's time to leave now. I've been having a reduction in profits of about 60% of this month, even though it's not even here. So it's funny. I've talked to the BP people, and I'm having P&Ls done, but it's taking time. So I need to pay people now.
Yeah.
And I have employees that are primary and people I'm paying, but there's also distributors that are involved. There's people in food sales that are involved. There's people in seafood that are involved, including oystering and fishing and the purveyors of all those things. So you have to wonder why there hasn't been a person that could take charge of the problem, and why they wouldn't be apt to going out to foreign areas, like people that have offered they've offered us help.
Before this oil spill, I had the whole world in my hand and I worried about nothing. Now, when I get up in the morning time, I have to take a little nerve pill, and I've never done that before in my life. And that makes me, that's sad, right? That oyster bar was an insurance policy for me that Mother Nature couldn't take away, but Brother Nature has done it and done a good job of it.
Started. And I think what the best way to move forward to get your concerns addressed quickly is they've requested a meeting in Tallahassee with city representatives, with some representatives of the county, BP, and the Coast Guard, to get everybody in the room, review the plans, and see if we can fast track and get the concerns addressed, the plans evaluated, and get the planning process as quickly as possible.
The problem is you're not responding fast enough to be able to solve the problem. We don't need the advance of the monies afterwards. We need the advance of the money in advance of the problem. That's exactly what we need to have. Because we know we're not going to count on BP to defend us. Because there's a problem, and I don't know if you can see that, but the BP is the one who caused the problem. When you start getting people who cause the problem to come in to fix the problem, there is a problem.
We are the ones that know how to protect ourselves. Just help us do it. You can. These other people can come in here. They can do what they think is best. But we know our town. We know our situation. So we just need their help to accomplish it.
It's a nightmare is what it is. I'm thinking I'm still in a dream and I ain't woke up yet. But when you wake up and really just see, it's pretty rough.
This whole thing is terrible. I can't find words to describe it, Just not knowing and thinking that the place you love so much is going to be destroyed.
I'm going to California. That's where my father is, and I have to go there because I don't have a way to support my family. And so I'm going to be staying with him. And he said it's okay. And it's a little sad. But that's what needs to happen. So right now, it's okay.
Right now, our shores are clear, our beaches are clear, the seafood is fantastic. We haven't seen any evidence of any intrusion of the oil product there. So right now, yeah, everyone should come and visit us now because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I mean, I have this opportunity in a couple of months. So yes, now is the time to come visit us. Come enjoy the seafood. We hope it stays that way. That's our wish, but you have to be prepared for the worst.